Great Thursday evening, 2021. To God be the glory for the closing of this day. And I tell you, all have sinned and fallen short of the God. Thank the Lord we're in the time of grace. Because I forgot about this story and I was like, man, have I read this before? But I remember underlining it. I saw that I have done this before, but it talks about chapter 24 of Leviticus. The second half of the chapter refers to a young man, a son of an Israelite. I was about to say Ishmaelite, but Israelite woman, and the father was an Egyptian. And one day the son got in an argument, a tiff, whatever, and he blasphemed the Lord's name. He spoke against the Lord, and back then, woo, the Old Testament, they did not play. And they had, well, first of all, Moses went to the Lord and asked what should be done. And the Lord was like, have the people who witnessed this young man, as far as what came out of his mouth that defiled me, those who heard him hold his head, and the rest of the people were to stone him. I was like, oh my goodness. I know I cringe to this very day if I hear someone say the GD, I'm like, are you, I shudder. I'm just like, oh my goodness, how do you realize what you're saying? Well, there are so many things that we can do to offend the Lord, knowingly or unknowingly. But what I have to say, and it has something to do with Proverbs 4:23. It says, guard your heart. You know, a lot of things we let come into our mind through what we see, what we listen to, and then we become desensitized, and we don't realize that we're disrespecting the things of God. Guard your heart above all else, for out of it flows the issues of life. So it's just for us to be mindful. What do we watch? Who we listen to? Where we go? Because subconsciously we can be burying things in our psyche and in the reservoirs of our being, and then it comes out and people be like, where did that come from? What you been on? Okay. And I'm gonna pass it to my son to see what spoke to him in Leviticus 24, if anything.
Nothing in Leviticus, but Proverbs 4,
Proverbs
verse 8.
4.
Cherish wisdom, and it will raise you up.
Yes.
It will bring you honor when you embrace it.
Yes.
I like that, because just having wisdom, if you don't like where you are currently, like your status, that shouldn't be a concern. But the more wisdom that you have, and the more knowledge that you use, then you'll have no choice but to go up higher. You never heard of somebody using wisdom and going lower. I mean, unless it's a matter of doing the right thing. But usually when people are wise, they go up in places, and when they're not thirsty.
What do you mean when they're not thirsty?
Like when they're not thirsty for more, but instead they're thirsty to have a sharper mind, then they usually go up involuntarily.
It's almost inevitable. Well, put God first, and when you seek Him and His kingdom and His righteousness, all these other things shall be added. When we place Him as a priority. And something you're saying, wisdom is the principal thing. That's first. That means that's primary. Therefore get wisdom, and with all that getting, pursue. And when you do that, you will bury, and you will hide the treasure in your heart, so when the times come, when the tests come, all that's within the heart, right, will be good treasure coming out. But then when we bury, the bad treasure, then, when the tests of life, are confronting us, then what's going to come out? So yeah, wisdom is a principal thing. And like you said, when we exalt, when we promote the ways of the Lord, then we'll be promoted. It says, she shall promote thee. Then she shall bring thee to honor. If you're not in a place where you're satisfied, hold on to God's ways, his wisdom. He will transition us to different levels. He's the one who will relocate us and to make us ascend to different heights. But it's the Lord. Embrace her, and she shall give a crown of glory, and she'll do great things. Have a wonderful evening, embracing the wisdom of the Lord, and know that we don't want to offend him, and wisdom is the best protection. Good night.